So here's one of those times where I just start getting to working and I forgetting to be videoing, and there's the old shower valve. It's a pretty typical three valve system. You got your hot, your cold, and your diverter. Actually, hot, cold, diverter, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm going with this Delta single lever. This is the trim piece you buy that will obscure the extra holes before you got 3, now you have 1. So here's the back side. There was a little cursing. I was a little irritated. That's all ugliness you don't need to see. But I did cut the valve out. Look what happens when you twist. When you tighten a solder fitting. Wow, they kinked it a little bit. But those are 45s, and I don't have any 45s. They bent those in 45s to clear the pipe. So I'm just going to reattach, couple it from here. It worked fine with that kink for the last 63 years. So I'm just going to leave it be. I had to come in. And of course, I forgot any sort of tile or diamond saw or anything. So I had to chip that square with a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. Got to do what you got to do. But what that does is that fits the trim piece. This little trim plastic piece is what they tell you to have clearance around your valve. That allows you to secure your valve to the wall here and here, and then your decorative plates or your bright work attaches to these 2 tabs. Before you solder, remember, pull all your guts out of your valves, because those O-rings and plastic things will disintegrate.
Hey YouTube, it's your beekeeper here. I'm going to go ahead and do another audio overlay, because while I'm doing this here, I got the radio playing. I was alone in the house, so I had my tunes cranking. Here's your plumbing tip. Clean, 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 and then when you're done cleaning, clean a little more. And what I mean by clean, I mean sand. Even the brand new fittings I sand. Big Mike the plumber taught me that, and I don't get leaks that way. I used to always have problems chasing down leaks when I did little jobs like this. And then, you know, I watch and I learn and I look at the professionals like Big Mike do his job, and man, I saw him sanding even the brand new Nibcos, and it worked out well. You know, you sand the pipe. See, I'm sanding really diligently, putting flux, lots of flux, and it's all lead-free solder and water, good to be used around potable water. See, I'm even sanding the inside of the valve body. Now, the 4 ports on the valve body are threaded, and you can use 1/2" NPT thread on there if you wanted to put fittings on there, or they're machined so see, that just slides right in. The 1/2" copper pipe slides right in, and it saves you having to buy a fitting, because those fittings cost about $3 a piece. So, you know, 3, 6, 9, 12 bucks plus tax. Plus, that gives you the opportunity for a leak with that threaded fitting. So here I am sanding and fluxing, and then you just pop them in that valve body, and you go, go, go. Now, also watching Big Mike, who's a master plumber, he assembles his entire valve before he even strikes a torch. So you take your time. I'm sanding the inside. What I do is I take that emery cloth and I roll it into a little hot dog that fits inside of the fitting, and then I sand the inside. I put flux on both the pipe and the fitting, flux everything, assemble everything, get everything lined up perfect, just right, and then I'll strike a torch here in just a second. And I'm using acetylene. I don't use propane, I don't use MAP gas. Acetylene is the only way to go. Thanks, Big Mike.
And now's your last chance to take advantage of our amazing wine sale. Now through Sunday, you can save 30% off all wines and an extra 10% when you buy 3
So it turns out, as I'm watching this, there's quite a bit of music in the background of this. But what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to speed this up. This is all real time. 5 minutes and 38 seconds it took me to... Wait, don't catch a house on fire there. I didn't even notice that paper was burning. So look at it, it's still burning. Until after I watched this video. You really need to be more aware of that. But that's what I have insurance for, I guess. Yeesh. Where was I? Oh yeah, 5 minutes and 38 seconds it took to solder all these fittings. It took me, I think, about 14 minutes to clean and build this whole setup. So 3 times as much on the setup just to make sure everything was right. And you see the heat. I only keep it on that elbow for 3 or 4 seconds per side. And then you just watch it. Watch it sucks right in. It's pretty cool. And once it sucks in, you're good to go. Don't keep filling it with a bunch of solder, because then all you do is get a bunch of little drips. Which I do. There's a couple joints here that are a little sloppy, but oh yeah, see, I was catching the tile spacer. Get it out. Get out. Get out. Out. There it goes. Plastic flash a little bit. But you know, the housing for this valve is brass and it's pretty thick, so it took a little more heat. That's why I'm on there a little hotter. Now watch that little ball that just rolled down. As soon as I bring the flame underneath, so it just sucked right into that fitting. So then you know you've got good heat. And then wherever the sanding and flux are, that's where the solder is going to stick. I actually probably put too much solder on this one. I keep coming back to it. I'm not quite sure what my brain was thinking, but for some reason I think I felt it needed more. I should have just let it be after the first time. See, stop going back to it. Just leave it be. Now this one, what is it? 4 or 5 seconds on one side. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and it's in. It's done. Walk away. You see it make a nice ring of solder around there. That's a good one, the one on top. I wish I could make them all like that, but I just don't do enough soldering. But, you know, it's not too shabby. I've seen worse. So yeah, I think Elton John is playing Rocket Man for some reason. I had it on a rock and roll station, and then that goofy song came on. But I kind of had my hands full, so I couldn't really change the station. But we don't need to be put in YouTube jail for copyright infringement. So you just get to hear me talk for the next, well, I don't know, probably another 2 or 3 minutes or so, 2 minutes. So, and of course, coming up underneath this here, you're dealing with gravity. And you don't want to keep the heat on there to the point where your copper turns black, starts turning colors, and you know you've put way too much heat on it. And then all you're doing is just filling in solder that's falling right back out because it's too hot to even stay in there. 3 or 4 seconds on the top of the fitting, come up on the underneath, and then you put your solder on the top and it just drops right in. Done. Walk away. Walk away, quit putting it in there. And in this one, I don't know what happened. It was just probably too hot. See, I made a little driplet there, and I should have walked away. I was done, and then it came out. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I put a little too much solder on that, but see, and then I noticed it. Heat it up, get that little nipple off there. Can I say that? Can I say nipple? Nipple's a fun word. It's like gum, gum, gum. I like gum and jelly beans. Ooh, and turtles. But I really love tater tots. Tater tots. It's late. I should not be doing voiceovers, and don't hit the camera. So that's the elbow for the tub fill, and worked out pretty well. Now I get a wet rag while everything's still pretty hot. Of course, shut your torch off before you set it down. And I'd let you hear the sizzling, but there's loud music going on in the background. You can see the steam. So I just dunked that rag in a bucket. And here's a good tip. Always keep some water handy. Because you know you got the water shut off to the house, so if you catch a house on fire, you're kind of in trouble there for a minute. So I keep, I've got a 2.5 gallon bucket that I keep just about full of water, and a spray bottle. You can't see the spray bottle, but I keep that rag in that bucket of water, so I could always throw it on a smolder. But you polish all the way around your joints, and then you don't get that green funky funk buildup. So keep your water handy. You never know where that flame will touch. But look at that thing shine. See, when you don't put a lot of heat on it, it doesn't get all black. And it'll stay pretty like that for decades. Decades. Even though it goes right behind a wall. But I know it's pretty. Even though the sheetrock will be covering it in a couple days, I know it's pretty. So there you go. Let me stop talking and show you what these solder joints look like up close. These aren't so bad. Not too shabby for a rook. These upside down ones are a little tricky because you tend to feed too much solder in there. And this elbow I'm going to pan up to is a little drippy. But not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see if it leaks.
Alright guys, just a quick clarification. I was using a turbo torch with a number 5 tip. It's not a pencil tip, but it's a doggone smallie. It's perfect for 1/2 and 3/4 inch pipe. It puts just enough heat You saw all it took was just a few seconds of acetylene. Now this is acetylene, I'm not using propane. This is a little cart I rigged together to hold my B tank. And a little marsupial pouch there. And initially I didn't have wheels on it, but then I did put wheels on it because it's kind of heavy. Sometimes I have to take it in places I don't want to take it by carrying. So let me go ahead and set this camera up. I'll turn the water back on and I'll see if there's any leaks. Big Mike, you watching? It's a hell of a plumbing job there, Big Mike. You taught me well, brother. Hold on. Alright, there we're set. We're looking from the back side because, well, that's where we're going to see the leaks. So let me go turn the main on and let's hope we don't get a sprinkler. Big Mike! Mike! Big Mike! I turned that on a little fast. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't like hearing all that rushing water. It scares me a little bit. How we doing, Big Mike? Did you see that? Look at that. Didn't overdo it. Everything's dry as a biddly bone. Oh, this is going to make the homeowner so happy. You just don't know. Okay, how do I do this? Oh, there it is. What's up? Let's see. Put a 2x4 across the back of the valve to support it. And then scoot it in from the tub side. So that's where all the bright work ended up. I'm running low on battery, that's why I had to shut her down. Shut her down! The tub fill was all part of the Delta kit, which included this round trim piece. And then as I showed you before, this oblong piece is an extra chunk you can buy to cover up the old shower heads, shower holes. As this job gets farther along, I'm going to dig all this grout out, what's left of the grout. Look at that, it's all falling out. Take me a couple hours. There's nothing there. Oops. And this shower was built before the days of wonder board and tile board and stuff, so it's all mortar that's been poured and chicken wire and paper in the walls. Tile stuck to it, so there's no moisture problems behind the walls because it won't get through that 1.5 inches of concrete. But it just looks ugly. So I'll come in and grout it because I just can't bear to see that. So that's that. Now we'll clean up.